Hello, my name is Judy Village, and I'm a certified professional ergonomist. I'm going to be talking to you today about workplace ergonomics for people with inflammatory arthritis. The goal of ergonomics is to balance the job demands with worker capabilities. Every worker comes to a workplace with different capabilities and limitations, and every job is unique in the job demands. The goal of ergonomics is to balance the job demands with your capabilities, and this helps you minimize pain and fatigue while you do your job. It decreases the risk of flare-ups, it increases your ability to perform your job, and it reduces your overall risk of injury. The objectives of this module are to help you better understand the factors that can increase your arthritis symptoms and to provide a framework for identifying solutions. So some of the factors in your workplace that increase your arthritis symptoms. You may already know the tasks or the motions that cause you pain or discomfort at work. These will be important to communicate to the occupational therapist during the ergonomic assessment. There also may be other factors that increase your risk of symptoms, although they haven't caused you problems yet. We will show you 8 risk factors and provide some possible solutions for each risk factor. The first risk factor is repetitive motions. Repetitive motions means doing the same motions over and over with the same muscles. This can often lead to fatigue and to pain. Possible solutions for this risk factor, repetitive motions, are to alternate tasks if possible, so you don't perform the same task for long periods of time, to take frequent brief pauses to relax tired muscles, to change your methods or your postures so that you alter the muscles being used, or to consider other ways of performing the task. For example, instead of using a mouse extensively, consider using more function keys. The second risk factor is awkward postures. These include postures where you're bent or twisted, or postures that place strain on the body, especially if they're done repetitively or for long periods of time. So, for example, reaching into a drawer is awkward for the shoulder. Bending the neck, even for a few minutes, is awkward and can cause strain for the neck. As much as possible, arrange the equipment and the work items so that your head is upright and forward-facing, your shoulders are relaxed, your arms sit close to your body, your wrists are fairly straight, your back is supported, your hips and knees, if you're seated, are at 90 degrees, and your feet are comfortably flat on the floor. This minimizes awkward postures. Also place all the things you use frequently within a close reach so that you're not extending your reach. Alter your working height so you're neither bent or raising your arms. Adjust your seating for optimal support, and make sure that what you need to see is in front of you and at eye level. Another risk factor 3, is static postures. Static postures are positions that are held for long periods of time. This also contributes to fatigue and to soreness. So, for example, twisting the neck and holding it in that position, or holding the arms or shoulders up for long periods of time. Possible solutions for static postures are to vary the tasks if possible, to take frequent breaks to relax and stretch muscles and increase your blood flow, to alter the postures or the techniques or the muscles used, to ensure that the posture is supported, for example, using arm rests or foot rests or lumbar support, and for your inflammatory arthritis, to consider splints or assistive devices to help support the joints during static work. The fourth risk factor is forceful hand grasping and using strength and endurance. Forceful grasping, using the hand and arms for strength or endurance, places high loads on the muscles and the joints and can increase your arthritis symptoms. For example, pushing yourself up from a chair can cause high forces to your hands and your arms. Some solutions for forceful hand grasping and using strength and endurance are to use larger, stronger muscles where possible, rather than smaller muscles, to support the weight by putting some or all of it on the table, to use lighter tools, to use aids or assistive devices for gripping, holding, or opening things, to use your whole hand or 2 hands to grip rather than parts of your hand, to increase the size of the handles or the object you're gripping, to ensure that your wrists are straight, to increase friction. For example, a non-skid jar opener increases friction. to ensure that cutting devices like knives or scissors are sharp, and to ensure your hands are warm. The fifth risk factor we're going to talk about is contact stress. This is where hands or parts of your body come in contact with hard or sharp surfaces that places pressure on underlying tissue and joints, as well as nerves and arteries. So for example, resting your forearms on the sharp corner of a desk or your wrists on the sharp corner of a desk can cause contact stresses. Possible solutions are to pad any surfaces where the body's in contact, so to create some padding, to ensure that the edges are rounded, to ensure that working heights are appropriate so you're not resting parts of your body where they shouldn't be, and for hand tools, to ensure that they are rounded and padded as well. The sixth risk factor is lifting, pushing, pulling, and carrying, otherwise known as materials handling. These heavy exertions can increase fatigue and pain and can cause your joints to flare. Possible solutions to minimize lifting, pushing, pulling, and carrying are to use devices to move the loads. For example, use book carts to move books or mail, or put briefcase on wheels and roll it rather than to carry it. Use smaller loads and take more trips, or reduce the distances or frequencies that you lift, push, pull, or carry. The seventh risk factor is whole body and hand-arm vibration. Whole body vibration comes from heavy equipment that you drive or operate, such as forklifts. Hand-arm vibration comes from holding hand tools and comes directly into the hands. Vibration is not good for inflamed joints. Possible solutions to minimize whole body and hand-arm vibration, where possible, to choose equipment with the least amount of vibration. Secondly, to dampen the vibration, for example, anti-vibration devices in a vehicle to add suspension seating or larger tires, or to minimize your exposure to vibration, shorten the duration or use a lighter grip to minimize the exposure. The eighth risk factor is work organization factors. Your body experiences more stress when you perceive you have these certain work organization factors: time pressures, heavy demands or heavy workload, fast pace, little control over your pace or variety, and little support from coworkers or supervisors. If you experience stress because of these work organization factors, this can increase your risk of a flare or of injury. Possible solutions are to work with your supervisor and your coworkers to find ways to reduce the time pressures and the workload peaks, and to try and minimize any avoidable pressures. Negotiate deadlines so they're not short time frames, and allow for more planning and safeguarding in case of flares, and discuss ways to increase the variety and build teamwork and support in your workplace. Some more benefits to finding ergonomic solutions. Finding solutions to these risk factors will benefit all workers, not just yourself, and allow them to also remain healthy, injury-free, be more efficient, and less stressed in the workplace.